Hello everyone, this is Easy Natural English with Liam, where I talk to you in natural English that's a bit easier so you can get used to English in a natural way. And today I want to talk a bit about nutrition. So I'm not an expert, I'm just an English teacher, but I thought you might want to know how to talk about these things in English. So in this episode, I'm going to talk a bit about fat, and then later I'm going to do an episode about protein, and then I'm going to do an episode about carbohydrates, or maybe I'll do carbohydrates then protein. But today, in this episode, I'm going to talk about fat. So you probably all know the word fat. You might have heard this word to talk about people who are a bit bigger. Of course, that's not a nice word to use. So don't use this word to talk about people. But fat is a macronutrient. So when we look at food and you look at the back, first you might see the calories, and you probably all understand that calories are kind of the amount of energy that's in the food. But those calories are made from fat, protein, and carbohydrate. So fat is made from, it can be like oils, it can be from animal products, and it can also be from other plant based fats like nuts or avocados. So it's something we need to get in our diet, especially some fats. But there are kind of good fats and bad fats, and this is something that a lot of people sometimes are scared of fat. When you say this food has a lot of fat, like avocados or coconuts or nuts, some people say, oh, they must be unhealthy, lots of fat. But actually, fat is also pretty important in the diet. But we have to think about where the fat is coming from. So there's two main groups of fat, and in English we call them saturated and unsaturated. So saturated fats are the type of fats that you often get from animal products like meat or butter or even milk. And those saturated fats, they are hard to pass through our body. So when they get in our blood, it's hard for these saturated fats to pass through our blood, and they get stuck. And this leads to problems like heart disease and other unhealthy diseases, particularly around the heart and with our arteries or our system that moves the blood through the body. Has a lot of problems if you eat too much saturated fat, which comes from like butter and especially like beef, things like that, and pork. So the unsaturated fats, you can get those also from animal products, like chicken has some unsaturated fats, and then fish has plenty, and then also plant sources of fats too usually have unsaturated fats. And unsaturated fats are the ones that can pass through our body a bit easier, and they won't get stuck in your blood, and we won't be so unhealthy. We won't have too many problems. And within those unsaturated fats, there are two very important ones that our body can't make, and that is omega-3 and omega-6. Some people say omega, some people say omega, and there's 3 and 6. So two types of fat that our body cannot make by itself. So we have to ingest them, we have to eat them. These fats sometimes have perhaps people in different countries might call them by different names. So I know here in Japan, if I use the Japanese word for omega-3, people don't understand what I'm talking about. But if I say DHA or EPA, I think is the other one, then people understand. So the DHA and I think the other one is EPA are two different types of omega-3. I don't understand that much. Like I said, I'm not an expert. But in English, we tend to just say omega-3 when we talk about those kinds of fats. And, these omega-3s and also 6, you get them from like fish and nuts, and eggs have a lot too. So yeah, these fats are really important because our body can't make them, and they have a lot of functions in our brain, in our skin, in our organs, in lots of places on our body. They're really important. So yeah, try to eat some fish or some nuts or some avocados or even algae. Algae has omega-3 as well. Algae is like green stuff that floats on top of the ocean. That too has some omega-3. Did I want to say anything else about fat? I don't have too much to say. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I thought I'd just introduce some words, because if you talk to English speakers about nutrition and you start talking about fat, they'll know all these words I've used today. These are very sort of normal words because, as I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a nutritionalist. But these words, these are not that technical. If you look at like a newspaper and they talk about like a new healthy food, or if you're watching a TV show and they're talking about nutrition, or if you're just having a conversation with someone about nutrition, they'll know most of the words that I've used today. So if this is a topic that you're interested in, maybe watch this episode again or listen to this episode again. Try to remember these words, and then you can talk to people a bit about fat. Fat sources. That's what I didn't talk about, fat sources. So I did mention, you get some fats from animal products and things, but then also, of course, a big source is oil. So when you're cooking and we're adding oil to our food, it gives us a lot of extra fat in our food, and that has a lot of calories. So be careful when you're putting oil in things, because just 1 gram of oil or 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you add like a tablespoon of oil to your food, I think that's like over 100 calories just in 1 tablespoon of oil. So oil is a very easy source of fat. You can get it very quickly. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this episode. Next time, I'm going to talk about protein or carbohydrates. Haven't decided which order yet. If you'd like to support my channel and also hear more podcast episodes, then check out my Patreon page. There's a link for that on the description of the podcast and also on the description of the YouTube video. And on there, I put episodes where I'm a bit more relaxed and I can talk a bit more freely, because I know that it's only regular listeners on there. So check out my Patreon page, come and join in and listen to those bonus episodes. If it's your first time on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Everybody comment and like. If you're on the podcast, don't forget to review. Everyone share with your friends, and I'll see you all back here next time.